It's lunchtime and the Brooklyn Cafe is open for business. Live from the Brooklyn Cafe studios, Dawn and Freddie S. and their team are ready to serve up a huge portion of fun for lunch with friends and neighbors. So let's break open that lunch pail and unwrap that sandwich you brought and take a front row seat at the Brooklyn Cafe and get ready to enjoy some humor and hot topics. It's time to get a healthy serving of hope and happiness to help your day go by with a smile. Your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S., are ready to talk about food, health, dating, or just plain dream making. If you have a story to share, or a movie review, restaurant critique, or just a coincidental thing that happened to you, call in free 888-994-4995 right now. Sit back and enjoy your lunch break at the Brooklyn Cafe. Here are your hosts, Dawn and Freddie S.
We got no rain. We got a little warm, a little
nice
wind.
breeze.
That's because Hurricane Teddy.
She's blowing away.
I gotta tell you something about Teddy. No, she wanted a hurricane named after her, Teddy, and it doesn't leave.
It's kind of like Teddy.
Yeah, sticks
The good
around.
ones stick around is all
A
I
lot
can
of
tell
wind,
you.
a lot of rain, but nothing coming ashore, thank goodness.
But we got some beautiful weather. It is actually fall. It's fall, y'all. The Brooklyn Cafe show.
I saw you posted that. Very
I
cute.
posted fall, y'all. We never had a picture of us in your cowboy hat, but there's always another day. Welcome to our wonderful Wednesday at the Brooklyn Cafe show. We have a fantastic show lined up for you. I'm excited that we get to open our studio, move some artwork around, get people in here. We've got Dr. Laura joining us. We've got Patty Goldenberg, Fem City, Boca Del Rey. We also have Boca Liquors joining us, a new liquor store, and then the illusionist, magician, Gary Goodman. So a lot of great things coming up. It's amazing how many things we're going to pack into 2 hours. We got Slick on the board, and Teddy is getting our bar ready because you can't have a liquor store on without some taste testing. So you know how we got to roll here.
She's hitting it with a hammer, the ice.
And it is now after 12, which means it's definitely 5 o'clock someplace, just not here.
I think it's 5 o'clock all the
And
time.
I get to taste test. Would you like some of this?
What is that? No,
This
I
is
don't.
a Gubba Rum Martini with crushed Oreos.
No, I'll pass.
Want to try one? It's dessert. As my grandmother says, always
Okay,
eat
so let me
dessert
get
first.
this right. If they make me a Gubba drink, you don't drink that, but you have a whole slosh of sugar in there with your Gubba, and that you drink. You
Yeah.
make no sense.
It's the chocolate and the Oreos. It goes back to this eating thing I had when I was a kid. You know, the double stuffed Oreos? So Slick goes, we've got 4 or 5 bags of Oreos in the back. I said, what's in your bag, Slick? He says,
I have
double
one.
stuffed Oreos. I said, but we've got 5 bags. He says, but not double stuffed. There's something about double stuffed Oreos, is all I can tell you.
Slick,
He says, yes.
Slick, I'm gonna teach you the Puerto Rican way. You open up 2 cookies, you put them together, you got double stuff and 2 cookies on the side.
Oh, you could actually do that. You just take the top off and
Actually-
put them together.
You know what? That's a great idea.
What a great idea. I'm
What a
glad
great
you thought
idea.
of
I'm glad
it.
you thought of it. Boy, you got your work cut out for you today, Doc.
We
I am
got
so
the-
happy you're here,
You're
Doc.
so happy, right?
She's like, you know, on a big ocean liner when you fall overboard, what do they throw? A life
A
ring?
life preserver, a life raft.
That little round thing?
The dinghy, yes. 100%.
Not a dinghy. I'm not going to call her a dinghy. Call you a dinghy.
A life raft. There you go, life preserver. But yeah, that post I put out a couple weeks ago on social media that is still going out, it has been shared 29 times and not by us.
You count these things?
Well, it shows you when I'm thinking of all the things and all the content that you and I put out on social media. We are now going into season 10 of the Brooklyn Cafe show, which I must say, that is bell-worthy. Congratulations
You want
to
me to ring a bell for you?
Because you have put up with me for 10 seasons, 9 seasons going into 10. So
My
I
father
should
always-
light a candle for you
My
over
father
there.
always say, listen to how she says, so what?
Huh? What'd you say?
That's the way you get off. You get away from this, huh?
Think about that, though.
10 seasons. How do you come up with 10 seasons?
Because the season is
A
from
year.
September until May.
It is? Who told you
39
that?
weeks. Look it up. In TV world, a season is from September until May, which
So there's 2 seasons in a year.
there are 2 seasons in a year.
God, I feel old.
You feel old, you feel a
I
little
feel
worn down.
crippled. My arteries are hardening as I sit here.
Look how far we've come from the man with no hat to where
Stop
we
that.
sit today.
We had a meeting yesterday, Doc, and we showed the guests about what I looked like back then. That was over 60 pounds heavier. And nobody recognizes me there at all.
How far we've come, but thanks to the grace of God, and this is why this is so perfect. You know, yesterday we had a meeting and you shared your story with them.
I share no story.
And I don't often share our story, but I met Dr. Laura through this Facebook post and what it's like to be women in your 50s, approaching 50, and I think is Dr. Laura Ellick with us. And we're going to introduce you that it's not when you turn 50, it's that approaching number when I've noticed most women, 48, 49, have really started to step into their power and say, I want something different. There's got to be more to my life. And this, Fred, you're going to love. You never know how or what will suddenly change your life. Be open to everything and have faith.
But that happens before you're 50, after you're 50, and when you're 90.
But this is her book, Wisdom from the Universe, a journal to motivate and inspire. And it just came out in the middle of a pandemic, which is even more remarkable, in July 1st. Laura Ellick, Dr. Laura Ellick. So welcome. Thank you for joining us.
I'm so happy to be here.
Just grab that mic.
Grab that microphone.
Hi. I'm so happy to be here. You guys are amazing. Thank you for having me.
We are so excited that you're joining us. You are located local.
Yes, I'm in Palm Beach Gardens, beautiful area.
Tell us about Wisdom from the Universe and what you do.
Sure. This is a book that sort of came out of my own, I guess I would say spiritual or emotional development as I'm going in my 40s and getting close to that marker. Just figuring out where I was in my life, paying more attention to the signs and the signals that were coming to me that maybe I had ignored previously. And so I just started putting out some positivity on Facebook. Just started putting out some quotes that came to me that I call downloads from the universe. There you go.
Thanks. More downloads from the universe because they were just all intuitively based, and I started putting them on Facebook, and I figured, what do people need with that? And I figured what everybody needs really at this point in time is more peace and love. And so I just threw that out there, and people started messaging me and saying, you know what, that was an inspiring message. I look forward to seeing your quotes every day. What else are you coming up with? You should put them in a book. And so when the pandemic hit and I had a little bit of time on my hands, I decided, all right, now's the time to put it into a book, and you've got it right there.
But you had your PhD long before this happened.
That's right.
This is a plan. This is your message, your gift to the world.
That's right. But, you know, it took me, so let's say I got my PhD in 2000. So that's where my journey has been. And it's just been over the past, 5 to 7 years, really just trusting in the universe and trusting myself and basically saying it's all going to work out, but you need to pay attention to what's out there. Stop ignoring the signs. Stop ignoring your gut feelings. Go with your gut and go with your instincts, because it's going to lead you where you need to be every single time.
But what I'm amazed at is, theoretically, you are a scientific person. You deal with the mind, which is a science, yes?
Correct.
And here you are now dipping into something spiritually. So, maybe there's something wrong with me, I don't know, but I would think that, wow, here you have a person who does science and dips in spiritually, and these worlds are combining, and you're asking the universe to bring it forward. It sounds a little bit different coming from your background as to what now is going on. What brought this about? What changed?
You are amazing, I have to just say, because you're the only person who has brought up that dichotomy. Yes, I have a PhD. I was trained in science. I did a dissertation. I did research. I'm very research-based. I look at all of the studies, absolutely 100%, but I'm also a full person. And so my thing has always been the unity between mind, body, and spirit. And I think that the two can coexist, because that's what faith is. And it doesn't matter to me what we're talking about in terms of faith. The faith, whether it's spirituality, whether it's the universe, whether it's your particular religion. To me, I don't need to prove anything. I don't need to do science on it. I can just show, based on the trajectory of my life, that when I followed it, that's my research right there, because I got my results. Every single time I listened to my instinct and my gut, something great happened. And when I didn't, that's when I got off track. That to me is the best research study you could ever do.
Sounds like we were talking about this morning, right? We talked about what has led us to where we are. And it's totally on faith. And when you don't, when I didn't, when you and I tried to analyze and super analyze the
First
situation.
of all, she must have a mouse in her pocket because it's not you and I. It's when you, yes, that would be you.
It would be us. But anyway, how this comes to be when you don't follow the signs. When I started working with you, it was a true leap of faith. You asked if I had always done this.
Right?
No, did not always do this.
You know, but sometimes faith is bigger than science. Just sometimes. And I don't want to say that it's always, because I'll get people writing to me and I really don't want to get yelled at today. But I believe, really simply, that it is science that gives you the ability to learn what spirit is teaching you. And without the science in your world, it would have been a fog, and the science cleared it up for you. That's why it took so long for you to develop that field for you spiritually. But what I like about what I'm feeling from you is that your spirit world can actually teach your science world, and you're not, I'm gonna tell you, you're a very intelligent person. I can see that. And you've done studies and research, and you have the data. It's just like deja vu. We just had this conversation at 10 o'clock with somebody else.
I know.
And what's happening right now is that all of this material, all of this science, all of this spirituality is needed more than ever for people to plug in and actually be in touch with that. So do you trust your instincts now without question?
99.9% of the time, yes. And it's taken me probably about, I would say about 5 years or so to really get to that point. I mean, I've done it where I'm like, all right, today I'm road tripping here. Like, I'll have a day where the day is just listen to my instinct and I listen to my voice. And it's like, okay, you know, when I was living in New York, it's like, I'm going to road trip to Foxwoods and I'm going to play the slot machines, and I would win. And it would just sort of be like, okay, that was my reward for listening. That was my proof for listening. And so the book, it was like, now's the time for the book. I've had so many ideas on this book, but never put it together. And then all of a sudden it was now. So I would say that there's still that little scientist inside of me, that 0.1% that's kind of like, oh, is this really real? But then I think of all the evidence I have. And I also think of all the ways that traditional science can't explain so many things. There's a limit to what traditional science has done at this point too, which is why so many people are seeking out different kinds of therapies and treatments, whether it's for medical illness, whether it's for, corona. People are looking for answers, and it's not necessarily always in the traditional way.
It's funny because they call a one-time thing that happens, and the more spectacular it is, it's called a miracle. Because it only happens once. A miracle doesn't happen over and over again. That's not a miracle. It is what science cannot explain, but spirit can, right? So when that happens, people sort of look at you. I mean, in my world, people will say, oh, you're blowing a lot of air. What are you selling to them? It has nothing to do with that. I don't sell anything. I just ask you to bring yourself. What do you do when you walk into a room or a meeting and people come up to you? Because I know you have a sense of feel for things around you. I get it. What do you do when you meet somebody who's completely the opposite of who you are and begins to question who you are and starts to try to put seeds in your head to rent room in your brain? What do you do? How do you stop that from happening?
Oh, it's all about the boundaries, man. Just being able to set that limit in a respectful kind of way, to say, look, we're going to have to agree to disagree on this, because if you haven't had this happen to you, of course you can't believe it. But also, if you don't have a little bit of belief, it's never going to happen to you. So while I respect the science part, I have too many other situations where I can say for myself, if I didn't listen to my gut, I'd be in a lot of danger right now. I'd be in a tremendously difficult situation, and things have just guided me in a certain way. So I like the philosophical debate. I like talking to people about it. I'm not trying to convince you of anything. You just have to experience it for yourself. And if this is sort of like the theme for what's going on in the world right now anyways, if we could just listen to each other, just listen, not like hear it, but actually listen and process what somebody else is saying and take it in. Even if we don't agree, we would be so much better off right now. There'd be a lot less anger and a lot less rage in our country.
I think she's 100% correct.
And I have to tell you, flipping through this book, I smile at every page because I think I would say that. And I say it. And people, if Studio A, you'll see I've got a unicorn in there, and she's about as big as you and I are. And happiness is your choice. Choose your own happy today. I mean, every single thing in here, if you see the world as a place of magic, love, and possibility, that's what it will be. And again, if I didn't write this book, but if I could have written a book, this is the most spectacular book, and yet you make it a workbook.
Right. It's a journal because people have to do their own personal work. So for me to just give it to you, nah, that's still the therapist in me. You got to do a little bit of work on your own. So take the words that are there, reflect on them, make them your own. Make it a growth experience for you. Do something with it. And I like the idea of people questioning when they go in their world anyway. Don't accept what anybody says is truth if it doesn't fit with you.
It's funny. I wanted to ask you, because something occurred. Sometimes you tell people something about you, and people get shocked because it hasn't always been peaches and cream. And you tell them the truth, good, bad, or indifferent, because telling a story doesn't define who you are, it defines where you came from, right? Mm-hmm. And people will say to you, I can't believe that you said that story, because people are going to look at you differently. Well, my parents are both deceased now. I just lost that. And the way I was taught is people are going to make up their minds as to who you are, where you are, until you give them reason to change. It's going to be the same. I want you to touch a little bit upon, don't be afraid to be yourself, irregardless of what you think others are going to judge you to be. Because like you say, this book is about your writings. It's about you, your path. Mm-hmm. It's not about the path that anybody else is going to lay out for you. Mm-hmm. How important is that to get through people's minds right now that this is our path? We have a problem collectively and individually. We have to sort of find a solution among ourselves and then bring in the groups to work. So I want you to touch a little bit upon that.
I think that's a really good point because we do live in a society that's pretty judgmental, and to do your own thing and to follow your own path it can be difficult. I have, and this is why one of my sayings that came to me and I really like is empowered women raise empowered women. And of course that can be all empowered parents or empowered children, but people like little sound bites. Since my kids were really young, before they went to preschool every day, and I've said this to them probably every day, I have 3 kids, I would say to them before they left the house, be a leader, not a follower. And they still say that today. And that I drew upon when I went through really tough times myself. I had an eating disorder in college. That was not a pleasant time. Obviously, I went through a divorce several years ago. I moved down to Florida. There's been a lot of gossip, a lot of rumors about why I've moved, stories about it, just drama. And I think about what I told my kids. And you know what? I have to leave all of that behind. That's not relevant to me because somebody who is telling a story about you, someone who is gossiping about you, reflects more on them and what's going on with them than with you. And if you take on that energy, their stuff becomes your stuff. And I said before, it's all about the boundaries. Don't let anybody else's stuff become yours.
That's right. That's great. And we got Fem City in the house as well. It's really vital for businesses to succeed right now, more than ever in the history of our country, to get out of your head. Right. Stop letting people rent space in your brain saying you can't, you shouldn't, you couldn't. Stop it.
Oh, wait, that's in here too.
I bet it is. Empowering women, and I gotta tell you something, Doc, you empower men, because I just want to get up and sort of shake people and says, you gotta wake up. You gotta come to the realization that this is your path. You choose it. And if you decide not to, it is your choice, not anybody else's.
That's right.
Don't live in the fear of others because you will live in their shadow. So my mother used to tell me all the time.
But it's about relearning. Mm-hmm. And this is what you do. What type of clients do you work with?
Oh boy, I work with all different types of clients. I work with children, adolescents, adults, but I'm really working a lot right now with toxic relationships because we've seen so many of them during lockdown. People who have gotten stuck at home in a relationship with someone, whether it's a man, woman, whatever, that's just not working, and they just realize being around each other 24/7 how toxic it is, meaning they're energy vampires, or somebody is taking their truth away, or somebody is controlling them. And that's actually right now where I'm getting the most phone calls about.
Holy smokes.
Yeah.
Energy vampires.
That's a good one, right?
Have you seen it on both directions, or it's one more on one partner than another?
You know, I'm going to say just because I'm a female psychologist, it may be that I get more women, but I do have more women who come to therapy on their own and men who come because the wives or the partners make them come. That could just be me, but I've also found, you know, in my experience, most of the people who I work with, when you're dealing with a toxic relationship, let's say someone who's a narcissist, most of the time the narcissist is the guy.
Can a
In the
woman
relationship.
be a narcissist too?
Excuse me?
Can a woman be a narcissist?
Absolutely,
What
absolutely.
do you call them?
A narcissist.
Yeah, you could
Same
call them a
name?
narcissist. Yeah.
I have other names for her, but I was just wondering.
We might not be able to say them out loud, but we call them narcissists. Yeah.
Well, psychology and the brain. Let's talk about the brain. Who has the upper hand in a relationship, the woman or the man? And I want you to be completely honest.
Oh, that's a tough one.
It ain't too tough. Come
Um,
on now.
let's see.
Let's see.
Okay, so I'm going to say that I think women make it tough on themselves because they do too much thinking. And one of the things that I really like about guys, and this is why I like on a Sunday afternoon I could just go to Duffy's with a guy, hang out and watch football, is because that's what it's about. You don't have to think about several different layers of what did this mean, and this person looked at me this way, and she made a comment about my hair. Was it really about my hair, or was it about something else? Women talk in layers,
Yes.
and in some ways, you know, that's kind of interesting. If you're in a relationship with a woman, sometimes that's really frustrating.
It's frustrating to live with myself sometimes.
There
Sorry.
you go.
You need some water.
Oh my God.
He's trying not to agree, but he can't help it.
Right, we can't get out of our own heads and get out of our own way sometimes.
Do you
That's
have
true.
the book that we can read to sort of understand all these multiple personalities? of a
Have some
woman?
coffee.
That's going to be my next book then, The Translator.
I can see that.
You okay?
I am. I was swallowing my tongue when I heard her say that. But it is so true. I was going to take a piece of duct tape and write on it, shh, and sell it for 3 cents a piece. Because I think there is so much noise going on at home right now because of the lockdown, the kids, the pressure, the bills, the boom, 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 boom. That sometimes saying something is too much saying. So to sit and just listen to the quiet for a change. Because there's a lot of noise going on right now.
You know, that's why I clean, by the way.
No, you cleaned the same area 15 times.
But,
that ain't
but
why.
that's my quiet. When everyone leaves here and I'm here until 7 o'clock cleaning,
Teddy, bring me some Q-tips. We're gonna tape her ears shut. I'll give you quiet.
but that's my quiet. That's the time that I get to actually stop and think and talk to God and my angels and everything that's here before I go someplace else. And I've realized that's why when I do that is I clean. Some people can meditate.
That's right.
I can't sit still that long. So I guess I meditate as I sweep.
You have a whole bunch of books in your hand. Not even chapters, these are books, which is okay.
That's why I've got Dr. Laura here, but you've got a 90-day Reset Your Life challenge that is coming up. Only 20 seats available for this program.
That's right. That's right. And you know, one of the things that we were talking about even before the show is people have written off 2020 as being over and done. And you know, if you look at just life is ebb and flow. You can start over any time. So why wait until, you know, January 1st, 2021 to start over? Start now. So we have, you know, approximately 90 days, maybe a little bit less until 2021. This is the time to get yourself geared up. So we're going to take 90 days. I'm going on the journey with everybody because I'm not going to send people or talk to people about doing things that I won't do myself. So I've got some growth things that I have planned, and we're going to work on them every day. You'll get a video, you'll get a message, we'll have Zoom calls, we'll have accountability, you'll have the opportunity we'll do some work alone, one-on-one. So this is for people, you know, who maybe are a little bit nervous about doing one-on-one therapy or one-on-one coaching. They may be more comfortable with groups and maybe doing a little bit more independent work at home on their own time, and it's perfect for someone like that.
Is that only for women or for men and women?
Oh, it's for men and women. I hope to have tons of men. I really do. I love working with men. I think there are a lot of men out there who they don't get enough credit for being in touch with their emotions and being insightful and being really good communicators.
We have so many questions to ask her. I know.
She gives so much credit that we have to put up with.
Some men deserve credit.
Very
Absolutely.
Others don't.
Very few of us.
That's not true.
That is very true.
No.
And I can say because I'm a guy.
No, that's not
Yeah,
true.
it is. Guys, we have so many different angles because you guys have so many layers. It's like layers versus angles. Remember in
That
basketball?
should be the next book, Mars and Venus, Layers versus Angles.
Well, you remember in basketball you had skin versus shirts? Well, in relationships you have men's angles versus women's layers. Layers versus angles. And it is an amazing story every day that takes place with this.
Me just getting dressed and getting out of the house is a lot of layers.
That's a layer. And the angle is, okay, how do I put up with this?
That,
What do I
exactly.
do next? Do I put a banana peel on the floor so she has to start all over again?
That's exactly
We
it.
actually do things in studio now. I got the guys all invited. It took me a long time to actually do things so that she straightens it out. So yesterday we moved it back. She spent all day straightening it out. Today we're changing it again, just to watch her. And we're gonna put cameras because Dawn will see and says, wait a minute, it happened again in there, Studio B. I introduced you to a client and you went into let me fix
Production mode. I got to fix it.
It's like I say, some layers you understand, some layers you will never understand. So I just say, you know what? Why try?
But look, it got us here, right?
That's right.
And she hangs her hat on that. She's good. She's very clever. She's very good.
But it got us here, and we got it through Fem City, and Patty's in the house. And I'm glad, Patty, you're here because meet Dr. Laura, Patty Goldenberg, and her friends from Boca Liquors. Because, heck, like I said, now it's really closer to 5 o'clock. Now we're at 12:32, so we're even better to go.
We just came back. Vinny just came back from
Getting another bottle of Gubba Silver.
what?
Black Tie Liquors up in Lake Worth.
Black Tie Liquors, yes.
Because we shouldn't be too far off from our Gubba distributor is all I can tell you.
Well, the bottom line, it sort of eases the moment so you can sort of talk freely.
Dr. Laura, we have so many more questions to ask you. How can people find your program, get involved, and reach out to you?
Okay, people can go to my website at www.lauraellick.com. I love it if you guys would follow me on Instagram at dr.ellick. And I love seeing everybody's posts. I love seeing everyone's suggestions. And I will get back to you. Definitely. It's important to me to make sure everybody's heard.
Do you know what I like about this whole conversation
I
more
love
than
this
anything else?
book. What?
More than anything else with what she said. You're
What?
not going to believe it.
What?
Sunday, she can hang out at Duffy's with a guy and watch a football game.
And not overthink it.
Do you know how big that is in a man's world? That don't exist anymore. It don't. It just doesn't.
And it's funny because I'll talk to the crew. I say, when I actually say to Freddie or the guys, what are you thinking? And they say nothing. It's really nothing.
Believe it.
It is
Oh,
nothing.
are you watching football? Yeah.
Excuse me, nothing is a something.
It's like
You
the
know
book
how
of
hard
doing
it is to be
nothing.
nothing?
But if I actually said to you, I'm thinking nothing, you know I'm not telling the truth.
Of course not. That you even asked, I know where you're going. You're
Exactly.
going to Pluto
Because
and
there's
Saturn
layers of
and
what I'm thinking about. My brain is never doing nothing.
trying
even
to
when I
figure out what
sleep,
she
it doesn't
says
do
is
nothing.
part of the deal.
But it's a girl, but you get
It's
it.
it's a multitasking thing. I think women are just much better at multitasking. But there's a consequence to that because our minds are busy and women tend to have a hard time sleeping too, and that's because our minds are busy.
Always
Your
busy.
minds are busy.
And then there's Slick. He goes get lunch, he gets an iced tea, and he's good to keep going. Slick, what are you thinking about? Anything?
No. Huh?
Huh?
Means nothing.
Lunch.
That's for Vinny.
Lunch. And there you have the perfect example of what we do. But Slick is awesome. This is amazing. Dr. Laura Ellick, Wisdom from the Universe, a journal to motivate and inspire. And you get a copy of this book with her 90-day Reset Your Life Challenge. You can find her on social media, drellick.com, drlauraellick.com. Check it
Never
out.
too late to reset your life, Doc.
Never too late. Start today. Start this minute. You can start this minute by reaching out to somebody, reading a book that's inspiring, or doing something nice for somebody, especially yourself.
You know, it's really funny because, you know, Drew Barrymore,
Yeah.
You gonna choke?
she has, yeah, yeah. She has a show that's coming out, and it's all about positivity because Drew Barrymore, if you see her history, a lot of color in that history, drug abuse, all sorts of stuff that went on in her life, her story to tell. And she's come out with a positivity show. And I sit back and I laugh because, you know, my name, your name isn't Drew Barrymore, but we've been trying to be positive for the last 5 years, even before the pandemic, about being positive towards yourself. But the object of the game, when you walk into the room, you wear the crown. Because you're the scientist in the field who's all of a sudden backdooring the spirituality. And all sorts of good things begin to fall out of the sky.
There's more to come.
Scary.
All right, we're going to go to
That is
commercial
so
break.
scary.
DrLauraEllick.com. Check out your 90-day reset. Get a copy of her book, Wisdom from the Universe, A Journal to Motivate and Inspire. This book, unbelievable. Every single page. I can't even tell you there's a favorite, but every single page is better than the next. We're going to go to a commercial break. When we come back, we've got Patty Goldenberg, Fem City, Boca Del Rey, and Boca Liquors in the house. And of course, Steve Gubb's going to be joining us from Gubba Rum. So stay tuned, and we'll be right back.
Pizza District is the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show. They have amazing deals, great food, and an even better customer connection. Their owner, Nico, runs the friendliest and cleanest pizzeria for miles around. With their pizza made with whole wheat, gluten-free, cauliflower crust, and traditional New York style, you can't go wrong. Plus all the extras like salad and chicken wings. They are a family-run business with a great atmosphere. Call today to order your pizza and tell them the Brooklyn Cafe sent you at 561-961-4163. That's 561-961-4163 for Pizza District, the official pizzeria of the Brooklyn Cafe Show.
Introducing Black Tie Liquors, your one-stop shop for wine and spirit needs. Whether you're looking for an ice-cold pack of summer brews or just to grab your favorite bottle of Scotch whiskey, Black Tie Liquors has you covered. Come choose from a wide selection of beers, wines, spirits, or liqueurs. Or if you're in the mood, feel free to grab one of our fresh cigars. Stop by Black Tie Liquors today, located on 5970 South Jog Road, Lake Worth, Florida. Or give them a call at 561-968-0988.
At Carmen Care Advanced Laser Therapy, our professional team specializes in finding the best alternative laser therapy treatments for your painful conditions. Do you suffer with chronic pain, a post-traumatic injury, or simply looking for the benefits of cell rejuvenation to the skin? Schedule a consultation today to understand how photobiomodulation can help reduce your symptoms, reduce or even eliminate pain. Give us a call today, 561-405-9577. We focus on treating you who has a disease, not a disease that defines who you are. Contact Carmen Care Laser Therapy today, 561-405-9577 or CarmenCareLaser.com.
Friends, it's Bree and Ali from Kids and Capes. Tune in Saturday mornings on the Brooklyn Cafe Kids Television Network at 10 o'clock, where we share fun and ideas. And remember, peace, love, and kindness.
You've been watching the Brooklyn Cafe Show. Join us each day and after hours as we talk about the hot topics to open the conversations and share a few laughs. Now, back to Dawn and Freddie S.
Ding, 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 ding.
Are we back?
We're back. Dr. Laura's giving out bracelets. DrLauraEllick.com, and it says peace and love. So she comes bearing gifts.
Don't worry about nothing. All right.
Now you got a bracelet too. Nice segment. I know. You never know how things are going to work out. You just can't even make it up. And you're right. It truly you've got to go in faith, because the amount of amazing people that we get to meet every day that end up here by the grace of God, I always tell you, and in faith, is you just never know who's going to walk through our doors.
Well, the nice thing about it is she fits right into your next segment here, was the ladies of the House with the Business venues. And again, get paper and pen so that you can join this organization. And they don't have any men in this organization, so it's not like I'm the palm or the rah-rah leader or anything else. But I've met a lot of people, a lot of women in my life who do businesses, and you're looking at one of the best in the business about to come up on this thing. So she fits in right in with this.
We got Patty Goldenberg joining us today from Fem City, Boca Del Rey, and Barbara is here from Boca Liquors and Pinnell. Pleasure. Welcome. Peniel didn't want to be on camera. Barbara, you're going to be front and center, huh?
Yes, I'll be the face.
Well, welcome, ladies. Welcome to our wonderful Wednesday. We've got Teddy in the back because, you know, we can't have our liquor store on without giving you a sampling of what we've got in our non-liquor store that we get to share with you. Always sponsored by Gubba Rum. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Patty,
you so
what
much
is
for having
happening?
us. Yes, we have a lot coming up here for Fem City Boca del Rey. We are super excited to have our 9th anniversary luncheon this Friday. It is going to be virtual instead of in person. However, as much as we would like to be together in person, we found being on Zoom has really opened the door for a lot of our members, especially our founding femmes who may not be in the area locally anymore, to still join in the festivities and the fun. And so we are very excited about that, and that is one of the reasons that I have Barbara here. Boca Liquors is our event sponsor for the anniversary luncheon, and they are putting together these super cute cocktail kits for us. We do have a signature cocktail because, of course, all of our anniversary events, we would have a little glass of bubbly. And so we decided to, still try and create that experience at home. So we came up with an apple cider mimosa at Barbara's recommendation, and Boca Liquors put together these, truly adorable cocktail kits. So you just come in, grab it and go, and they're a special price for our Fem City members. And we also are offering a discount on wine when you shop that day. So.
Amazing. So I have to just say, 2 women owning a liquor store in Boca, that really just takes Fem City to a whole nother level. Seriously, I think they broke the glass ceiling on this one. How long have you owned this liquor store?
We opened in the middle of July.
Oh, you're brand new?
Yes. Yeah, we're brand new to the area. It was a long process to get here, but we finally were able to open on the 13th. So it's just about 2 months old.
And of all the things to open, why a liquor store?
Because we're essential.
Very.
Even during a pandemic,
So
everybody needs to stock up.
Did you decide after the pandemic started that you wanted a liquor store, or was this in the works before?
It was like an 18-month project leading up to this. We had to go through tons of obstacles with city letting us open. We are in the business district of Boca. We're located off 1200 Yamato near the Dunkin' and the Ale House. Between Congress and Military. So it was a little difficulty getting approved for zoning. We got through that. And then the construction, that's always a process in itself, but we got through that as well. And then finally, we're able to open the doors on the 13th of July.
Is that the plaza you're in, is Ale House and Dunkin' Donuts?
Yes. Yes.
Wow,
We're
what a
right
great
next door to the
location.
Dunkin'.
You're right next to my house.
Well, how convenient for you.
I
Fred.
didn't even.
Why haven't you stopped by?
I didn't even know you were there. I haven't gotten
That's
the
why
balls.
she's
We
to-
haven't been anywhere since July.
Haven't.
We used to be at that Dunkin' Donuts all the time.
That ale house, they know me there because I did a commercial on TV for Dr. Panozzo, and it showed up at that ale house, and everybody brought me beers.
Oh, how nice.
Because my son started screaming, "Oh, it's my father's commercial." So you're smack right along ale house going east?
We're between Palm Beach Bagel and Ale House.
Oh, yeah,
Wow, what a great
absolutely.
location.
Yes, it's a great
I have
spot.
meetings at Dunkin' Donuts all the time with Steve-O.
Exactly where
Exactly
it is.
where it is. Oh my God, you're right, convenience.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, we actually sent out some coupon mailers as well to the local area. So if you haven't checked your mail, do so. We sent out some coupons for wine and your whole purchase, and obviously just to let people know that we're open.
Now, have you ever owned a liquor store before?
No.
This is the first venue you've ever
For
done?
both of you?
Yes. Yeah, for both of them.
Really?
What did you do before you opened
Yeah,
the liquor store?
I'm curious.
Well, we both have other jobs, and then
Oh,
we
this
have
is your side hustle?
basically.
Everybody needs a side hustle.
Are you serious?
Yes.
A liquor store side hustle? You have taken me to another
Wow.
level here.
Patty, you're elevating the side hustle, I must say.
Everybody needs a side hustle. Diversification.
Absolutely.
What's your day job?
I'm a director for a franchise locally here.
Okay, and what's your other job?
I want to get J's.
Wow.
And Chase.
Yes.
Oh, so you're the bank.
She's the number brain. Yeah.
She's the brains, the
So
numbers.
you open a liquor store? That is amazing. Do you have specialty drinks? You cover everything.
So we have a little bit of everything. Being that we're new, we are taking a lot of recommendations from the guests that do come in. We carry your basic, liquors and wines, but of course everybody likes their little specialty. So whenever we get a request, we do our best to fulfill it. We'll follow up with the guest as needed. And it's been a learning experience. There's a lot of new liquors and wines that I was not familiar with, so it's been fun. And it's been really great to get to know people in the community and be a part of it and be there to help them, you know, get a little edge after their workday. So it's been fun.
I'm amazed because in the liquor business, a lot of the franchises have jumped in. And it's not very common, and especially to women. It's not too common where you have the old-fashioned liquor stores. Now, when I was growing up, my brother, they used to hang out by the liquor store. I wonder why. They used to light their garbage can on fire, and they used to do up and everything in the street. That was in the day. That's all changed now. You have these big franchises, and you go in. It was like a supermarket. You couldn't find a drink. You couldn't find a bottle of Gubba there if you wanted to.
Well,
It's so big.
Vinny, if you're on the board, if Steve Gubb pops in, let's bring him over on a trio and we'll talk
I
to
think
him
he is.
also.
I think so. Yeah, bring him over. But the amazing aspect is, number one, your timing. Number two, the female. Number three, your location. That's a pretty good location. let me
And
tell
there
you.
he is.
Hey, how are you,
Good morning.
Mr. Steve?
Good morning.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon, Dawn and Freddie and Patty, and I forget the other lady's name. I apologize.
We've got Barbara here.
Barbara, good morning as well. I have to say, I love these women already because they said something that is near and dear to my heart. When they got into the liquor store business, they had never done anything like this before. When I got into the rum business, I had never done anything like this before. So we are kindred spirits in that regard.
But we like to taste test. And actually, Teddy, holy smokes.
Yeah, she's making drinks. You
We're
know,
having a taste testing here, ladies. I'm glad you stayed around Dr. Laura.
but
That's
Dr.
the
Laura,
word.
the best is yet to come. Hey, Steve, I'm gonna
Yes,
send
sir.
I'm gonna send you a Dr. Laura coupon because if anybody needs this kind of guidance, this lady you gotta meet. Unbelievable stuff coming out of her.
Teddy,
Well,
what do we
I
have
certainly
out
could-
here? We got to get you a mic.
You see, this is why I didn't ask Teddy what she's doing because she doesn't have a mic, obviously.
There's a mic on the
Go ahead, I'll
couch.
repeat what you say. Don't worry about it.
It's original Gubba with margarita,
Gubba Go Margarita.
and we have shots of Gubba Gold so you can taste it just by itself.
Individually.
And then we have shots of Gubba Silver so you can taste it by itself, and a Oreo rum martini.
Yes, I started my Oreo rum martini because what else do you do with leftover Oreos? Then I decided to rim the glass and make a Gubba Gold martini
They are
with it, right?
ruining my Oreos. This is what they're doing.
You can have the double stuff too, but I started a little early. So we're going to do a little taste test today. Have you ladies ever had Gubba?
Nope.
I have.
You've had it, right, Patty?
I have it.
Patty's
with
an
you,
expert in the
yes.
Gubba. The Gubba
I'm
Hubba.
excited for it.
I would
The
not
amazing
say
thing
that.
about Gubba is that it's not just a drink. It comes with a family. Like we have people, well, we're the dark side of the family. But we have people in Miami. We got people in West Palm. We got people that are trying this thing all over. And when you taste it, it's a whole different type of